Hello guys. So recently I've come across many people who were using should have, could have and would have to describe the actions that did not happen in the past for any reason, right? But I also realized that they were somewhere very much confused with the use of should have, could have and would have. They were using different modal for different steps. For example, if they wanted to say could have, rather they said would have. If they wanted to use should have, they used would have. So that is what we'll be discussing today, the use of should have, could have and would have. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to explain is should have, could have and would have. They all are used to describe the actions that did not happen in the past. Okay, for any reason it did not happen, right? But they have their specific uses. So let's begin with could have. Okay, so the use of could have is whenever there was any possibility in the past for any action to happen, but it did not happen for any reason. Okay, let's take an example. I could have eaten like 5 chapatis in my breakfast, but I was getting late, so I only ate 2. Okay, but it was in my capacity, right? It was in my capability, and I could have eaten 5 of those chapatis, but because I was getting late, I just ate 2. Okay, so whenever we describe the possibility, ability, capacity in the past for the action to happen, but it did not happen for any reason, so we use could have for that, right? For more example, let's take like another example. If you had asked me for money, I could have helped you, right? I feel like I had money, like it's 7th of the month today, but like 3-4 days back I had good amount of money with me. So if you had asked me for money in the starting, I do not have that money anymore because I've spent my money on some things, so I'm not able to help you anymore. Okay, so this action of lending money to my friend, this could have happened in the past, but it did not happen, right? So there was good possibility of that. In the very same manner, we use should have for the situations where for somewhere for past regressions, for any kind of advice, for anything that is considered socially right, let's say right, correct as per the society. For example, in the morning, as I already discussed, I was getting late for my classes, so I did not watch the traffic light, so I did not follow the rule. So one could say you should have followed the traffic rules, so we are using should have for that, right? The structure is subject plus should plus have plus verb third and object. Okay, so you can say, sir, you should have followed the traffic rules, because should have, of course I shared, should have, we use should have for the actions that are somewhere socially right. Okay, that was my that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to follow traffic rules, right? So when you want to give any advice, when you expect something from somebody, you use should have for that. Like, you should have helped me, my dear, since we are good friends, right? So I expect regular helps from you. So I would say, Adarsh, you should have helped me because I'm your good friend. So you are expecting something, and because I couldn't help you with any money, with any help, so you would say you should have helped me, right? You should have followed the traffic rules. Or when you want to give any advice, for example, Adarsh, you should have studied harder to pass the exam, right? Just imagine I got failed in my exam, and I'm in kind of regression, so I would say I should have studied harder. Had I studied harder, I would have passed. So I'll explain the use of would have later, but let's stick to should have first. Okay, so advice, suggestion, for expectations, or for any activity, for any action that is considered socially correct, socially right. Okay, correct as per the society, so that is should have. So we should you should have helped the needy. ओके, सो तुम्हें एक जरूरतमंद की मदद करनी चाहिए थी. You should have studied harder to pass the exam. You should have followed the traffic rules. So these are the certain examples. Okay, so let's come to the uses of would have now. So we use would have for, sometimes we use would have for past possibilities as well, but mostly it is used for imaginary situations or conditions, right? For example, if you had invited me for your marriage ceremony, I would have attended. Okay, for example, if I had a car, I would have come by car, but since I do not have any car. I just have a bicycle or maybe motorcycle, so I have come with my motorcycle. So this is all about imagination and conditions. So for more example, we could have become good friends by now if we would have met earlier, right? But the condition is I would have helped you with the money, but I didn't have it. So this is somewhere an imaginary conditional situation. Since I did not have any money, I was not able to help, right? So I would say I would have helped you, but I did not have any money. Okay, so you're giving conditions. If you had called me earlier, I would have come on time, right? So since I did not know about the time, or I was not aware about the time, so, and that's why I got late. Okay, for more example, if I had known about your health, I would have called you. Okay, I got to know that you have fallen ill from our friend, so I've just called you. Okay, so I did not know that you are not well. If I had known, I would have called you. Okay, so let me give it a revision. We use could have for possibility in the past, ability in the past, capacity in the past. Okay, that was possible in the past, but it did not happen for any reason. Okay, we use should have for the actions which are somewhere correct as per the society, socially correct, and for advice or expectations. We use would have for imaginary situations and for conditionals. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.